What is your American dream?
My American dream is to always feel that we can be ourselves and be accepted being different. That's my American dream, where we can finally embrace differences, accept differences, and include differences.
Well, of course, achieving American dreams would be to have a house, a car, but I already have all that. So now it's more like sort of leaving a legacy behind, and again, helping one another, getting to know more people, trying to do good.
This is my dream, to build this organization, to build as well a group for immigrant women, and make everyone happy.
My American dream is to be able to write more. That's what I would like to do, and help my community.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. It is Tuesday, March 1st. Happy March. Jonathan,
March.
Yo-Yo, Elias.
March is here.
Marvelous March is here.
Marvelous
and
March.
again, Jonathan, Yo-Yo, Elias. There, we got him.
I was like, am I here or am I not?
Yes,
I'm here.
Jonathan texted me earlier. He says, I'm going blue today. I said, then
Twins.
then I'm going to do that as well.
Twinning.
Then I'm going to do that as well. All right, let's say hello to the squad. Pape Samuel, squad up. Jewel Delph, squad up. How are you? Carol Anderson, the Tiger. Squad up. Lisa Bling. Don Ferrari.
Ooh,
I like that.
Me too.
I like that, Don Ferrari. And his cousin, Danny Lamborghini.
Are you serious?
No, I'm making it up. Nikisha
I was
Jacobs,
like-
squad up. How are you? Is that a great name, though? Danny
Yeah.
Lamborghini. Somebody should be that name.
Like-
Dip Fab Cake Affairs, squad up. How are you? Kivar Harris, squad up. Doreen Dappa, squad up. Diane Reed. And who else we have here? Nikisha Jacobs, squad up. Haven't seen Nikisha Jacobs in
Right.
a long time. Demba South, squad up as well. Sonia Farquharson Lawrence, squad up.
Yeah.
Sonia Williams, what's going on? Danny Boy 954, saying he's first in the classroom.
I like that.
All right, welcome, Danny Boy. Kavar Harris, squad up on YouTube as well. And Ola Muyiwa Tiwadali.
How about the dream?
Who's the dream? Oh, the dream.
Yeah, I like the dream.
The dream.
Happy new month, guys. How
Yes.
soon? Okay. Oh, the dream actually has a question.
How soon after marriage can I file for VAWA? Well, if you're legally married and there's abuse, that's sad that
Yeah.
as soon as the marriage happened, there's abuse. That's why I was shocked.
Right.
But yeah, if there's a legal marriage and there's abuse, file for VAWA. There's no time frame. It's you're abused, you're in a legal marriage with the person, and it's a legit marriage. That's what you need. Mm-hmm. All right, Yo-Yo, take it away.
Absolutely. All right, squad, you already know what time it is. It is time for you all to start sharing because we're going to be schmoozing with Brad. He's going to fill us in on the latest headlines, including how advocates are urging for protections for Ukrainian refugees as hundreds of thousands have fled the country as the war with invading Russia continues. And of course, today is Tuesday, so that means we're going to sip tea on some celebrity headlines, like some of the Ukrainian stars who have joined in the ground fight against Russia.
Yeah. And by the way, public service announcement, squad up Jessica Leamy Joel.
Oh!
How could I forget you?
Can't forget that, 'cause
I am sorry about that.
Listen, we know we're live when
Yes,
Jessica Leamy's
That's
on.
right. And if I missed anybody else, I said Jewel Delph, Chantel May, Robert Jackson. I think I got everybody. And of course, you can call Spar and Bernstein. The number is scrolling at the bottom of our screen, 1-800-529-5465. It's also the number to the offices of Spar and Bernstein. It's the same telephone number to call to get on our show, 1-800-529-5465. 5465 international, +1 212 227 8933. And later in the show, in honor of Mardi Gras and Carnivale, which is going on today in many parts of the world, we will meet Carnivale costume designer Kenneth Antoine and hear about his craft and his journey to the United States from Trinidad and Tobago.
Nice.
Or Tobago.
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 Trinidad and Tobago.
And Tobago, not Tobago.
Not Tobago.
It's potato and potato.
Tomato.
There you got it. All right, yo, you ready to start schmoozing?
Yeah, let's do
All
it.
right, let's do it.
Good at the ad libs.
You like that, right? All right, so it's 6 days since the world order has come tumbling down. What we knew as the world order for 80 years since the end of World War II has crumbled. Russia has invaded Ukraine, which potentially could set off an entire world war. What's more scary about all of this is Russia is the #1 nuclear power in the world. I was actually wrong. I said last week that the United States had more nuclear weapons than Russia.
Yeah, it was Russia.
But it is not true. I actually read and double-checked the veracity of that, that it is in fact Russia has actually more nuclear weapons than the United States. However, many experts believe that should a nuclear war go off, the United States' nuclear weapons will actually be able to be shot off. They are not certain about the Russian nuclear weapons because the U.S. nuclear weapons are more ready and more tested than the Russian ones. So experts believe that the United States, should there be a nuclear war, God forbid, it really doesn't matter whether we get off 1,000 or 5,000, that's the end of the world. But they believe that the United States would be able to get a lot more off than actually Russia would. So I guess I was right and wrong at the same time. The point being is this is a very scary time, especially over the weekend when Vladimir Putin suggested that he is going to increase Russia's nuclear, nuclear readiness. When you hear we're at DEFCON 5, we're at DEFCON 4. The United States does at DEFCON 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At DEFCON 1, they are shooting off nuclear weapons at their adversary. Russia increased that level. However, they use their own terminology from 5 to 1, but they have increased it. Joe Biden, in response to that, said, we're not worried. There will be no nuclear war. We haven't done anything to threaten Russia with a nuclear war. We are not changing our DEFCON readiness.
I don't know. It's just scary.
So Putin is trying to scare people. Part of what Russia does is that they like to, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, part of their playbook going even back to 1960s is to use their nuclear weapon to threaten, but not actually do it. But, right now, we don't know what's in Putin's mind and what he would do. God forbid his back is against the wall.
I'm just hoping that this isn't some kind of suicide mission to where it's I'm old, I'm just out here. If the world ends because of this one situation, I'm here for it. I'm okay with it.
Well,
because
he's protecting himself. He believed that had Ukraine joined NATO or joined the European Union, that eventually the United States would put nuclear weapons on the doorstep of Russia. Although right now there are 3 states that border Russia that are part of NATO and the European Union: Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. But I guess Russia didn't want any additional countries to border their country and be joining NATO or the European Union. And I believe that Putin, in his mind, thought that once that happened, perhaps the United States would look to try to overthrow the Russian government. And his number one goal is to stay in power until the day he dies, because Putin knows if he ever falls out of power, he's going to be tried.
Absolutely.
Tried for theft from Russians, tried for war crimes. He's going to be tried for everything. So this man's got to stay in power till the day he dies. So I don't believe that he would not, that was a double negative, he would not use a nuclear weapon to stay in power, at least tactically. You know, the United States dropped 2 nuclear weapons on Japan to end the war.
Right.
And it did not lead to nuclear war, although the United States was at that time the only country with a nuclear weapon. But I wouldn't put it past Putin to drop a tactical nuclear weapon if it came down to him losing power. I believe that is a calculation the United States has taken into. You hear President Zelensky saying, please give us air cover, NATO. We're fighting. And by the way, the Ukrainians have fought much harder, much stiffer than anyone would have imagined.
Yeah.
Putin calculated that Russia would already have taken over the Ukraine. They haven't yet. They haven't even taken over a city yet.
Wow.
They are now coming.
They're fighting.
They are now fighting. There is news today that there's a 40-mile-long caravan of military equipment going into Ukraine. 40 miles of Russian military equipment that they intend to use to circle Kiev and eventually choke them and overtake Kiev, which is the capital of the Ukraine. People say, well, how come if CNN knows that this caravan is on its way, why doesn't somebody blow it up? Well, Ukraine can't because they're having trouble getting their planes off the ground, because although Russia does not have air superiority, they certainly have a lot more airplanes and planes in their air force than Ukraine does, which is why President Zelensky is begging the world for air cover to make Ukraine a no-fly zone. And you would say, wow, you know, why doesn't the world do that? Make Ukraine a no-fly zone. Because in order to make Ukraine a no-fly zone, the United States has to shoot down Russian airplanes and come into contact and combat with Russia. And probably the United States would be able to do that. They have a much more sophisticated air force and a lot more airplanes than Russia does. But the problem is this: where are these airplanes coming from? These airplanes would be coming from Poland and Romania. And if I'm Russia and the United States is even coming into combat with the Ukraine, the United States is coming into combat with Russia over the Ukraine, Russia is now going to attack Poland and Romania where those airplanes are taking off. And now you're starting World War III by trying to protect Ukraine.
That makes sense.
Which is where the problem lies. So the United States and European allies are giving Ukraine military equipment, but they don't want to encourage anything that would have Russia attack Poland and Romania to now make it World War III, which then potentially you could have a nuclear weapon detonated. The world is extraordinarily impressed with the hero so far of this war, President Zelensky. He was given an opportunity over the weekend to leave. According to the news reports, President Biden spoke to President Zelensky, who is still in Kiev somewhere. There are mercenaries in Kiev right now looking for him, looking to kill him. Should Russia capture him, they will kill him, try him and kill him. Should Russia not capture him, they would probably kill him on the street. He is dead man walking.
Right.
If Russia captures him.
With a family like
with
that,
a family,
that's horrible.
And he's a democratically elected president. He's not a strong man. He's not a dictator. He was not doing anything to the people of Ukraine that you would say, boy, this is a bad dude.
Right.
All he did was ask to be part of Europe. And once he asked to be part of Europe, Russia said they don't like that. They don't want Ukraine to be part of Europe. As we said in the beginning, that would lead to the United States putting perhaps military bases in Ukraine, threatening the Russian government. So now people are saying, and that was a video of President Zelensky from Kiev at some point during the war a couple of days ago. People are saying he's a hero, and he is. President Biden said to him, we will give you safe passage out. Now, if President Zelensky leaves, why would anybody fight? So he knows he has to stay in Kiev to keep his military to fight. And he said to President Biden, and I think these words will go down in history. He said, "I don't need a ride, I need bullets."
Wow.
That was his response to, and he's staying. His family got out. President Putin is calling him a Nazi. It's hard to be a Nazi when his parents were killed by Nazis.
Right.
Other parts of his family fought against the Nazis. He's actually Jewish.
Yeah, he's actually the opposite.
So he is far from a Nazi. He's a democratically elected president who just tried to bring his country to the West, and Putin didn't like it. And now Putin is using all sorts of excuses to justify this war. Because Ukraine has been performing much better than expected, Putin is now bringing in heavier weapons. They dropped cluster bombs over Kharkiv and Kiev within the last 24 hours. Cluster bombs, according to the United Nations, are bomblets that explode in the air, which cause much greater damage than a bomb, an ordnance that actually hits the ground and then explodes. More than 400 civilians have been killed so far. And apparently Belarus, which is also run by a dictatorship, which is the only country in that neighborhood that is supporting Russia, is going to join the fray against Ukraine as well. As we said, Zelensky is emerging as a global hero, but I don't know what's going to happen. I'll tell you what I think is going to happen.
What?
Eventually, Russia's going to overtake Ukraine.
Right.
I don't know what's going to happen with President Zelensky. I hope he's not captured. If they capture him, they're going to kill him. He'll go down as a martyr. He'll go down as a hero. I don't know yet.
Right.
But the problem's going to be, you break it, you own it. And Russia has to now police Ukraine. And there's 44 million people who live in Ukraine, less a couple million people who've already escaped as refugees. How are they going to police 40 million people?
After you killed their people.
After you killed their people.
You came,
after
bum
you
rushed
dropped
there
and bombed cluster bombs on them.
You want your leader to love you. How is that showing love to your people?
Do you know how many soldiers you will need to police?
I feel like forever.
As a backdrop.
Yeah.
When NATO beat Germany in World War II, they had 98 soldiers policing Germany for every 1,000 inhabitants in Germany.
Jeez.
So almost one to 10. Okay? And that's what they needed in World War II, because remember, NATO bombed the hell out of Germany. That's what they needed in World War II to police Germany, to make sure that until such time as Germany was able to have their own democratically elected government and stand on their own. Russia is not going to put a democratically elected government into Ukraine. They're going to put a dictatorship that is a puppet of Russia. And so with 44 million people, even after Putin takes over the Ukraine, there's going to be a Ukrainian resistance.
Absolutely.
And they're going to be fighting this war for years and years and years and years and years.
I honestly
until such time as Russia leaves Ukraine.
Right, because I don't see them actually accepting, Russia taking over their country.
Yeah.
After what they've been doing.
So, I mean, Russia would need to have, if you have 44 million, they would need to bring in 4 million troops.
Isn't that did they think about the end result?
I don't know. But they would need to bring in 4 million soldiers to police 44 million people who don't want them there.
It seems like more of a headache to me. I don't see.
Now, most of the world has rallied around the Ukraine. Western allies have been increasing its assistance to Ukraine. On Monday, the Central Bank of Russia more than doubled its key interest rate. It's now, to borrow money in Russia, it's a 20% interest rate.
Ooh.
Under new sanctions, all people in the United States and the European Union are banned from trading with Russia's central bank. Australia has announced travel bans. All of Europe has announced travel bans. Private businesses such as Facebook, Google, and YouTube are stopping Russian state media outlets from monetizing their platforms. The U.S. Treasury has announced sanctions on entities tied to Russia's sovereign wealth fund. President Biden has instructed Anthony Blinken to release up to $350 million in military aid immediately to the Ukrainian government. But ultimately, Russia is going to feel it. Even today, I saw Apple said they stopped the Apple Store, the App Store in Russia, so people can't download apps anymore.
Wow.
And they stopped selling apples, at least through official channels. So people won't even be able to upgrade their phones, won't be able to use Apple Pay, won't be able. Eventually, it's going to affect everyday Russians. With the idea that everyday Russians are going to say, is this war worth it?
Well, I mean, I feel like they're saying that already. I don't think that, the people of Russia, or at least, the ones I saw that were protesting, they don't want war.
No, well, yeah, a lot of people in Russia don't want war. A lot of
and
people,
they're being affected as well.
But if you watch the news coming out of Russia, you don't see the bombardment of Ukraine.
Yeah.
People are brainwashed a little bit.
Yeah.
They believe that Russia's going in there to save a bloodbath, that the Ukrainians are killing the ethnic Russian-speaking population, which is not the case. So they're seeing completely different news. So some Russians are in favor of it, not realizing why and what the real rationale between this war is, unfortunately. There's more than 500,000 refugees have fled the Ukraine. Multiple organizations here in the United States are calling for temporary protected status, deferred and forced departure to cover Ukrainians. We'll see what happens with that. And tonight at 9 o'clock, President Biden is going to have his State of the Union. It is the only speech that is mandated under the Constitution of the United States of America. The Constitution mandates that President Biden do this State of the Union speech every year. Did you know that, Jonathan? Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, so he's expected, tonight is his State of the Union speech. This is the most important speech for any president every year. He's expected to cover a wide range of topics, including Ukraine, the next stage of the pandemic, his Supreme Court nominee, which we'll talk about in a minute, and inflation. Biden entered with big plans on immigration as well. They didn't really come to fruition. So he will be talking about a little bit. I don't think he's going to talk a lot about immigration, to be honest with you. I would be very surprised if he talks about immigration. I think it's mostly going to be Ukraine, inflation, and COVID. Right. I think that's going to be 99% of his speech. And maybe he'll say one or two sentences about immigration. But what he's learned is immigration, like every politician learns, is the third rail of politics. You know what the third rail is?
No.
That's on the subway station. If you touch the third rail, you get
electrocuted.
Right.
Okay.
So this is a famous saying for the last 30, 40 years. Whenever anybody talks about immigration, it's the third rail of politics, which means it never goes well. Whether you are pro-immigration or whether you are anti-immigration, it doesn't matter which way you take it. It is the third rail of politics. And Biden learned that the hard way. Trump learned that too.
Right.
Okay, it's the third rail of politics. It kills you both ways. So I don't expect him to be talking much about it. But if you want some thoughts about what changes in immigration may happen over the next year or so, the Biden administration said they want to improve the H1v H1b program. I'm not sure how they're going to improve it, but at least certainly they will make it easier to process H1B cases. They want to enshrine more protections for DACA recipients, perhaps even include more DACA recipients. I would love to see DACA's dates change, because right now you had to be under the age of 16 on June 15th, 2007, and have been in the United States. We've talked about this much this past few months, that DACA is no longer deferred action for childhood arrivals. It's really deferred action for children who came a long time ago who are now adults. What about all of the children who came after 2007 in the last 13 years? None of those children are actually protected. Perhaps they will make a new regulation to protect those children as well. They're also going to release new regulations about how they're going to treat asylum claims at the border. Right now, if you pass a credible fear interview at the border, you then go see an immigration judge for your asylum claim. Biden wants to change those rules and allow border agents to actually approve the asylum claims right there. Makes sense. Why would you need to go through additional hoops to claim for asylum? If somebody has a great case for asylum, approve it there on the spot. No need to see a judge. Why fill up the immigration courts with that?
Right.
So hopefully that will happen as well. As far as H1Bs, they want to revise who would qualify for an H1B and specialty occupations. Right now, you have to have a university degree or equivalent. Perhaps they will change that rule to make it even more inclusive for people who may not necessarily have university degrees. We'll see. And on Friday, in a monumental announcement, President Biden nominated Ketanji Brown Jackson to the Supreme Court. It's historic.
Wow.
It's the first black woman in America to be nominated. President Biden staked his entire presidential election on this. He said in South Carolina during the primaries, when he was in 4th place, he said, if I'm elected, the first Supreme Court nominee is going to be a black woman.
Well, he kept that promise.
And he kept that promise. He was not George Bush, who said, read my lips, no new taxes, and then turned around and made new taxes.
Right.
Because if he nominated anybody who was not a black woman...
Remember we talked about that.
Yes,
we said
that
if he
that would have been it.
That's it.
All right? If anyone ever learned, after George Bush, read my lips, no new taxes, if you make your entire presidential campaign on a promise and you don't deliver on it, then you will not get reelected again. George Bush learned that because George Bush, if you remember, he was at 90% approval rating 9 months before the 1992 election. He had just won Desert Storm, the first war with Iraq, and then he turned around and he raised taxes, partly to pay for that war.
Yeah.
And as a result of raising taxes, then nominee Bill Clinton, but now President Bill Clinton, jumped on that and used the no new taxes against him, and that's what propelled Bill Clinton to be president.
Yeah.
So read my lips, no new taxes. Read my lips, black woman Supreme Court justice. Better happen. And that's what happened. Jackson's 51 years old. She currently sits on the District of Columbia's Federal Appellate Court. The White House was considering delaying because of Russia, but decided to go ahead with it. She has a very impressive life story, including a rise from a federal public defender to federal appellate judge. Her upbringing as the daughter of 2 public school teachers. The president said Friday her parents grew up with segregation, but never gave up hope that their children would enjoy the true promise of America. She is a graduate of Harvard University undergraduate. She is a graduate of Harvard Law School. Obviously, if you go to Harvard, you're a brilliant mind. There's no question about that. based on her record so far, she's more of a middle-of-the-road liberal judge, not a progressive judge like Judge Sotomayor. But judges change once they're elected or once they're nominated and the nomination goes through to the Supreme Court.
Gotcha.
They change their perspectives. They are no longer hemmed in by the politics of everything.
Right.
Now we'll see, where this goes. The presumption is that the Democrats have 50 votes in her favor, plus Kamala Harris for the tiebreaker. So even if Republicans do not join in her nomination, they should be able to get her onto the Supreme Court. As a note for the D.C. appellate judge, she also had to go through a nomination and did get Republican support. But it would be interesting to see if she gets any Republican support now, because it's the Supreme Court and not the Circuit Court of Appeals. But I believe this is going to be a very fast process.
Cool.
I don't think they're going to wait too long on this. And good news, Jonathan, mask mandates are going away. All of a sudden, no more coronavirus. People aren't worried about it anymore. It still exists, but just nobody seems...
It's turned into the flu.
Yeah, nobody
almost.
seems to be worried about it anymore. In a new poll by the Associated Press, shows public concern is diminishing each and every month. As a result, mask mandates are down. Half of Americans approve of mask mandates, compared with 28% who oppose it. Yet support for mask mandates has dropped precipitously in the last few months. And I'll be honest with you, I was a big proponent of masks, and I am now against mask mandates myself. I think that if you are, you should have mask mandates in certain areas. You want to go into a hospital, a nursing home where they're, a hospital where there's sick people, into a nursing home where there are elderly people, perhaps in very crowded situations such as the subway, you may still want. But for the most part, based on the science, if you are vaccinated, you may get COVID, but you're not going to die from it. And if you didn't get vaccinated, well, that is your particular choice whether to get vaccinated or not. And I don't think we should be wearing masks to prevent ourselves from getting a bad flu at this point. And if you are ultimately concerned about your own health, then you have the right to wear a mask. Or you have the right to take a vaccine. But I think most Americans now are either vaccinated or have had COVID already, that it's not a pandemic anymore, but it's a disease that has to be managed. With that said, God forbid there's another variant, things change, I will change my perspective.
Right.
But at
talking
the moment,
about at the moment, present.
I'm talking at the present moment, because I think it's what the worst thing is masks for kids. Poor children have to go to elementary school, junior high, high school, and wear masks. It just robs them of their whole entire childhood. It's my opinion.
I feel like the kids are kind of used to it now. Just,
I know, it's still my
opinion. This is how they grew up.
I feel bad for them.
Just like we grew up.
I feel very bad for them. All right, you ready for some tea, Yo-Yo?
Yeah.
Let's do some tea. We have some tea. Who's here today? It is Jay Rhymes.
Jay Rhymes.
How are you, Jay Rhymes?
Fantastic.
I'm going to tell you something. The butler's biceps are getting bigger
know.
every week. When this butler, I don't know if he's doing bicep curls with the tea bags.
Oh no, it's just a tea.
It's just the tea. But when he started,
Right.
his biceps.
I feel like he's gonna come like a Chippendales.
Yeah, when he started pouring tea for us.
You'll be seeing me in Vegas.
When he started pouring tea for us, dripping wet, he was about 150 pounds. Now this guy is ready for Chippendales, right?
Oh,
I don't know what's
Magic Mike Live. This is the same one, though.
This is the same tea,
one.
which is what?
It's the orange mold.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, I will no longer make fun of Jay Rhymes. He will beat the hell out of me.
He will beat you up.
He will beat me silly.
Look.
He's a very, very smart, handsome man now, Jay Rhymes. All right, let's cheers.
Cheers.
And we said, what kind of tea is this? This is from
Orange mold. Mold orange, I think, something like that.
I like this.
I do too.
I like this moldy orange, but it's not mold. I
No,
remember
mold.
Jay Rhymes told me it was mold. I'm like, I don't want to drink mold.
Yeah, no,
it's
no.
mold.
Yes.
Mold.
Meaning it's like
What does that
warmed
mean?
up and with like fruit and cinnamon sticks and all the goodies. It's like in a
Very
pot.
nice. I want you to know something. I'm almost done with my first cup. Jay
Ooh.
Rhymes gave me a full cup, and I'm almost done with it. All right, let's get into some of our tea news,
Yes.
Yo-Yo. All right, so
What we
Ukrainian celebrities, they're joining the fight on the ground against invading Russian troops. Anastasia Lina, who represented Ukraine in the Miss Grand International Beauty Contest in 2015. She is a big Instagram influencer. She has joined the Ukrainian army. The Kiev-based model and TV personality captured the image hashtag Stand With Ukraine and hashtag Hands Off Ukraine, and she showed video footage of herself at a shooting range practicing firing.
I mean, the pictures are kind of like model-esque.
They're
though.
model-esque, but you want to know what? She's in Kiev,
Yeah.
and the Russian army's coming, and she has a rifle, and when the Russian army comes, she's going to fight them. In the meantime, she's
Wow.
still going to look beautiful.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, look at the picture.
and she's still going to look beautiful and glamorous. But when the Russian army comes, she's going to be ready for them.
Yeah.
She's part of the army. Also, Andrei Kulvinuk, a frontman of local hip-hop and rock band Boombox, has been shown in the video circulated on Twitter wearing military gear, bearing firearm. That clip has been viewed by more than 950,000 viewers. The musician's band's video has 100 million views on YouTube.
Wow.
So even
That's
though
him.
you may not know him, he is a big deal
Yeah.
in Eastern Europe with 100 million views on YouTube. Three-time division boxing champ Vasily Lomachenko, also shown in full military uniform. He made a post that was shared on his brand's Instagram account on Sunday. And former heavyweight boxers Vladimir and Vitaly Klitschko also taking up the fight. These are all top 10, top 15 boxers in the world.
Wow.
These are not nobodies.
Right.
These are people who have huge success. Okay? This is like, God forbid, somebody invades Jamaica. All right? This is like the Jamaican... Jamaican track and field team taking up arms,
Right.
Or name a top, Jamaican artist taking up arms. It's the equivalent, By the way, Vitaly Klitschko, who is one of the boxers, he served as the mayor of Kiev since 2014. He was asked on an interview on a UK TV show called Good Morning Britain whether he and his brother intend to join the fight. He said, I don't have another choice. I have to do that. I will be fighting. And two-time world heavyweight champ Vladimir Klitschko said in a LinkedIn post on Thursday, we will defend ourselves with all our might and fight for freedom and democracy. Current heavyweight boxing champ Alexander Usyk, who was in London in the days leading up to the invasion, he returned home. So there are Ukrainians who are very well known. This man has everything to live for.
Right.
He is a #1 boxer in the world. I'm sure he makes millions and millions of dollars. He has returned home to Ukraine to join the fight as well.
So the president isn't the only hero then?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. The entire country is a hero.
Yeah.
Nobody expected them to last this long in the war.
Yeah.
In the Instagram post shared on Saturday, he said, I'd like to speak to the people of Russia. Do not fight with us. Also, I'm addressing this to President Vladimir Putin. We are here in our own country. We cannot do it any other way. We are defending ourselves. Stop this war. No war. And Russian athletes, by the way, they are also promoting anti-war messages.
That's good.
Yeah, former New World Tennis, #1 tennis player in the world, Daniel Medvedev, to ice hockey star Alex Ovechkin. Some of the country's most prominent sportsmen and women have spoken out. Medvedev, he's the #1 tennis player in the world. He reached the #1 ranking on Monday, and what should have been a prideful day for Russia has now engulfed in absolute controversy.
Yeah, I
He's
can't even celebrate it.
Yeah, he's the only third Russian man to reach the number one ranking of all men. He called for peace, saying he's speaking for all of the kids of the world. Ovechkin, one of the most prominent Russian athletes in the United States, thanks to his legendary career, made a plea for peace while talking with reporters after practice in Philadelphia. However, none of the Russian stars are actually condemning Vladimir Putin, but they are definitely calling for peace.
I don't think they can.
Not if they want to go back to Russia ever.
Yeah.
Now, Russia's most recognized football player, Fedor Smolov, posted a black square on Instagram with the trending hashtag in Russian, "No to War," while Russian NHL and national ice hockey team player Nikita Zadarov showed his anti-war stance, posting a similar black square with "No War" in red letters.
Honestly, it's almost the same thing as, not siding with Putin,
Yes.
like talking against the war. So that's still a big thing that they're using their platform for.
There were 1,700 arrests in Moscow over the weekend from protesters who were protesting the war in Moscow. Protests are illegal in Moscow. You cannot protest. They're not. They don't have freedom to protest, and people are going out risking arrest. And by the way, if you get arrested for protest in Russia, you can never make that. Has to go on your application for any job that you ever apply for in the future. So anybody who actually gets arrested is risking their entire career and their salaries for themselves and their family. So you have 1,700 people who said, "We don't care. We're going to do the right thing."
Listen, if I had a business and I had to hire these people, I would definitely hire them. Even with seeing that, that's crazy that people wouldn't hire them because they were arrested for protesting.
Well, in Russia, yeah, that's what would happen.
Sheesh.
Yeah. By the way, what do you think of? I'm taking water, and now
You're going back
I'm
and
like,
forth.
No,
You're messing up the palate.
I messed up the pattern. I thought I was taking the tea. I'm like, wait, this doesn't taste like tea. Now, did you see, by the way, that Aretha Franklin's granddaughter was on American Idol?
I just saw a clip, a small clip.
Her name's Grace Franklin. Her grandmother's the late Aretha Franklin. She appeared in Sunday's episode of Idol and sang Lauryn Hill's version of the Roberta Flack hit "Killing Me Softly." The teen said, "I got to see her all the time. I used to travel with her a lot. I don't think I could fully grasp the fact that she was known worldwide, because to me, she was always just grandma." Now, while Franklin's performance won praise from Idol judge Katy Perry, fellow judges Luke Bryan and Lionel Richie didn't feel like she really had it.
Dang.
Bryan voted no to Franklin, continuing through to the next round, while Perry voting yes. That left it up to Lionel Richie to decide. And Richie said, "Grace Franklin, I love you, and I think the best thing for your life is to take a shot at going backwards. Go back and get a running start and come at this again." And those comments caused Perry to stare pointedly at him, to which Richie asked her, "Are you putting pressure on me?" And listen, she's got stardust. Give her a shot. Give her a chance, Perry argued. I'm sure Aretha wasn't Aretha when she walked into the room, but somebody said, "Yes, I want to work with you. I want to develop you. You've got something."
Actually, she was as a child. So I understand what they were saying. Katy Perry, you got to stay in your lane with this one. Aretha, as a child, she was 12 years old, and her dad used to host parties at his house. Late at night, she would come down the stairs and sing the whole room to the ground as a 12-year-old in front of adults.
We have a video to play. Let's see.
She has some,
But 15-year-olds, it's hard for a 15-year-old to compete. Their voices aren't mature yet.
Well, some of them are, though. Some of them are. They've had some 15-year-olds there that can sing like they have gone through what they're singing about. She needs a little bit more time.
By the way, Richie said, "Something wrong with your ears. You're all insane." And he voted no, hugging Franklin, advising her to put the work in. What do you think of Aretha Franklin's? Is that fair that she even gets to, just out of curiosity, because she comes from a well-known family. American Idol is to find an unknown person. I would think Aretha Franklin's granddaughter is not unknown. She has connections. She is her grandmother, her family is musical royalty. And American Idol is supposed to be, we're going to find the next unknown person and give them a break. Well, is that fair to even allow? I'm just throwing it out. I don't know if it is or not. I'm just thinking about it.
I think it's fair because this right here shows an example. You're not going to get through just because of your name. You know, there have been times in the past where a granddaughter or a grandson of a famous, a legend came on and sang as well. Sometimes they get through because they actually have talent, and sometimes they're like, hey, come back. I think it was fair. The advice that they gave her, just, live a little, work on your voice, go into the vocal training. I thought that it was okay.
But it's not American Idol.
It's not American Idol. I can't sing for nothing, so, but like.
Who's your favorite American Idol, by the way?
My favorite American Idol?
Do you have one?
No.
You don't care, less?
No, I don't care.
Kelly Clarkson?
No, I don't care. How about anyone? Maybe Fantasia.
Fantasia?
Yeah.
Why?
Because
Jennifer Hudson?
No.
No, you don't like her.
I mean, she's cool.
She's okay.
She's cool. She can sing her butt off.
Of course,
it's just not my style. Like, I think Fantasia would probably be my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. Carol Anderson thinks she could sing.
I think she can sing as well, but it's not an American Idol winner. That's not what the show is, oh, can you sing? It's an American Idol, and she has some work to put in.
Well, Burrell Harris, in response to my question to you, says, well, if she's not well known then she's certainly well known now.
She is, right.
But I think she could have been well known anyway.
Vocal training. She needs vocal training. I think that she can still go on, because even though her grandmother was Aretha Franklin or is Aretha Franklin, I don't think the name should matter as long as the judges are fair. Like, I think that Katy Perry was not fair. She said, go ahead, let her go ahead just because of who her grandmother is. That's not what the competition is about.
All right. We got to get to our immigration
Let's
questions and our TikTok time.
Great tea time.
In this edition of TikTok time, I answer questions about marriage and adjustment of status and visas. Let's watch. You can always get a visitor's visa and come visit, but if it's your intention to get a green card while visiting, then that's a misrepresentation and you would be denied. The way that the government knows it is if you come into the airport and say, hey, I'm coming to get married, well then, yeah, misrepresentation. If they believe you're coming to get married, misrepresentation. You have a problem. If you come to visit, truly visit, and then 90 days later, you change your mind and you say, you know what? I didn't know I can get my green card here. I'm going to adjust my status. Well, in the F2A category, provided it's current, then you would be able to adjust your status. But it's what your intent is at the airport. So if your intent is to get a green card, you got a problem. If your intent is to visit and then you change your mind 90 days later, no problem. Good luck. A green card holder cannot apply for a fiancé in another country. Only a U.S. citizen can apply for a fiancé visa. In your particular case, you'd have to go to where your future spouse is, get married, and then file for her in the F2A visa category. You ready for some meat and potatoes?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Ali, how are you?
Women's clothes. Yeah.
Hi,
So I
Ali.
was like, let me ask the housekeeping.
Ali. I think Ali's at work right now. We're in a hotel room. Ali from Atlantic City. Ali, who's been waiting over an hour to speak to me. Going once, Ali.
All right. She was also saying like she was
right,
sleeping
Ali-
and the housekeeping.
Ali's gotta figure out what's going on there. Maybe in Louisville, Kentucky. Maybe. Maybe. What's with today? Maybe in Louisville, Kentucky. Maybe going once. Maybe just call me baby. Going twice.
Hello.
Oh, there you are, Mabby. Maybe. Is it maybe or Mabby?
Bobby.
Oh, Mobby. Okay. All right. What's going on, Mobby? What can I do to help you?
I filed for VIVA in like last August 21 and under 9C, but until now I did not get my work permit. So should I apply for the expedition?
Did you file an adjustment application with your VAWA?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and when was this done?
Last August 2021, in August.
All right, so you're almost on 9-10 months now.
No, not 9 months. It is almost 6 months.
Oh, August. I'm bad at math. August, September, October, November, December, January. All right, 7 months.
Yeah.
Did you get an RFE or anything?
No, not I get prima facie declaration.
You got a what?
Hello?
Yeah, you got, what'd you say?
I get a prima facie declaration.
You got a prima facie. Okay, so then everything's good. I don't think an expedite's going to work on your case. You're only at 6-7 months unless you're about to lose your job and your job needs you, some desperate reason.
I don't
think it's unusual. I think if you wait another 30, 60 days, you should get it. If you don't get it in another 60 days, call me back.
So you said 1 month or 2 months,
Correct.
right?
I think you'll have it.
All right. Thank you very much,
Hang in
Ed.
there. Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, let's go to Orlando and Hempstead. Orlando, how are you?
Good. How are you, Brad?
Good, good. What can I do to help you today?
A big fan of the show.
Thank you.
I adjusted my status. My priority date is August 30, 2021.
Yes.
And my biometrics was on October 2021. I got an interview notice on January this year.
Great.
And February last month, I got the EAD and the SSN.
Great.
So, yeah, but my interview is actually this week. It's tomorrow.
Great.
So my question is, like, my wife we didn't get any chance to, like, she didn't add me to the utility bills because I didn't have the SSN. Will that be a problem?
Well, they look at the totality of circumstances. So if you explain why you're not on the utility bill because you didn't have a social security number, then that's the reason. As long as through the totality of circumstances indicates that you're in a bona fide marriage, you're okay. I don't think there's any one particular document that says, yes, you're in, or no, you're not.
Okay. I'm on the phone bill. I'm on our life insurance.
So
we got letters from
as long as you live
bank
together, you should be okay.
Okay. And one more question is, can they act, or if they act like I got 6 months to visit, I came on a B1 visitor visa. Can they act like, why did I overstay, or?
Because you fell in love and got married, no?
Yeah.
Okay, and the fact that you overstayed is not a reason to deny you. So whatever your reasons are your reasons.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much,
Good
Brad.
luck.
Thanks.
All right, let's go to Kwaku in Cincinnati.
Hi, Brad.
Hi,
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. Hey, Brad, I have a quick question for my friend. It's 2 questions. So, this friend is a riding alien. He got his case terminated. He has misrepresentation also. So now he's doing a waiver. So anytime, if the waiver get approved, does he have to go back to his country to?
If it's through marriage to a U.S. citizen, he's a arriving alien, and he gets his waiver approved, he will get his green card in the United States.
Okay. And then the second question is, if someone comes through the United States without inspection, and then the person jumps a wall or the fence, and he's married to a U.S. citizen, can he adjust his status also?
If he entered without inspection, and what was the problem?
Yeah, he jumped through the wall, so the immigration got him and then sent him to the detention center. So
it depends if he's an arriving alien. Depends on how they charged him. If he's an arriving alien, I love how people use phrases that I jump through the wall. I'm like, wow, that's very impressive. You were able to jump right through that wall. You know? I think I answered somebody on TikTok. He's like, I leaped the wall. I'm like, wow, you leaped a wall. That's very impressive. It depends on how they charge him. If he's an arriving alien, then you are allowed to adjust. If you're not an arriving alien, generally you would have to do a waiver, go home and come back. But, then there's, if the spouse is in the military or former military, you could do a parole in place. There's exceptions to that rule, but the general rule is arriving alien can adjust. Somebody who entered without inspection, then was caught by immigration, and then is in removal. That person entered without inspection is not eligible to adjust.
Oh, okay. Okay. Bro, one quick one. So for the first question that I asked, so if the person got approved with the waiver, that the person has to go back to the court and then do it with a judge, or just have to go through with the USCIS?
Well, you would have to still go through a judge to either terminate. You just can't just pick up and leave, because then you self-deport it. So you still have to go through a judge. You may need a waiver. You may not need a waiver, depending on if you were in unlawful status and for what period of time. You may need a waiver or may not need a waiver if you were ordered deported versus taking a voluntary departure. There's a lot of what ifs. So I would need to know a lot more and review the records before I give you the specific.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's go to Michael in Brooklyn.
Hello, Brad.
Hi, Michael.
Yeah, I have a quick question. I'm in removal proceedings, but my visa petition got approved. Do I qualify for work permit?
You're in removal proceedings and what got approved?
But my visa petition got approved. And
your green card petition. What is your green card petition? Tell me what that means to you.
It means my I-130 got approved.
Your I-130 got approved. How did you come to the U.S.?
I came with visit visa.
Okay, so you should file an adjustment to get a work permit, and then the case would be transferred to the judge to complete.
Okay, so I filed an adjustment with USCIS and also with the court.
It should be filed with the court, but if you want to try to get a work permit, file it with USCIS.
All right, thank you, bro.
Okay. Let's go to Andre in the Bronx.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Andre.
Can you hear me, sir?
I hear you, Andre.
Okay, so my niece, she's gonna be 17 in April. She came here on a B1 visa, visitor's visa. Can I adopt her, or what can I do to adjust her status if there's any?
How old is she?
She's 16, gonna be 17 next month.
Okay. Too late to adopt because you have to adopt before 16. Where is the mother and father of your niece?
They are somewhere here in the States.
But you don't know?
Yes.
Okay. So if you can go into family court in the Bronx and demonstrate, and request guardianship, which is a fast process. It takes 2 or 3 months. And you can demonstrate that one of the 2 biological parents abandoned, neglected, or abused this child. One of the 3, abandoned, neglected, or abused the child, then you can get what's called a special ruling from the family court judge to say, as part of this guardianship, it's not in this child's best interest to be reunited with at least one of the biological parents. Then that child is considered an abandoned child in the United States of America under the law and can file a special immigrant juvenile petition to adjust his or her status to get a green card. That would be the process you go through, and you should do it quickly.
Okay, also, I heard about this SID program.
That's exactly what I just told you.
Okay, so that's the only option in that situation?
Correct.
Okay, sir, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Let's go to Shelly Ann in Kingston.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, Shelly Ann. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So I have a question on a complicated situation. In the case of someone who has filed for a spousal sponsorship immigrant visa but was denied based on being flagged on suspicions of money laundering while traveling on a visitor's visa, keep in mind this person was not charged or arrested, but was denied under Section 212.
Was denied for suspicion of money laundering?
Right.
All right, so they were not denied on suspicion of money laundering. They were denied on suspicion of drug trafficking and money laundering. Because you can't be denied on suspicion of money laundering, but you can be denied on suspicion of drug trafficking. So perhaps this money laundering was part of this suspicion of drug trafficking. If that's the case, the burden is on the person who was denied their green card to prove that what the government is saying is not true.
Okay, so what if the person hired a lawyer but to file an appeal, but the appeal was stopped?
There is no appeal. There is no appeal if you were denied at the U.S. Embassy. So the only thing you can do is argue it out with them or go up the ladder in the State Department and argue it out with them. But there is no appeal of a decision at the U.S. Embassy.
Okay, so what are the decisions, like the choices to move forward?
Well, the choices to move forward are to have a consultation with a lawyer who knows what they're doing and go through, honestly, the evidence that the government may have and what you have to say this is not true, and see if we can, or the lawyer that you're speaking to, can prove to the sufficiency of the government that they got the wrong guy. If they got the right guy, you're never going to be able to prove it.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Maybe they got the right guy there. She didn't see like, oh, yeah, we have proof that it's not true. This is BS. She wasn't saying that. Right. I mean, you can't prove what's not true. If the government thinks you're drug trafficking, even if you were never... And that's the only thing that can deny you for criminal activity, actually, at a U.S. embassy is if the government believes you are part of a drug trafficking ring. Even if you're not actually carrying the drugs, you just may be part of the financial part of it, which that's what it sounds like to me.
Right.
They can still deny you even if you've never been found guilty of anything. Right. Yannick in Fort Myers, Florida.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. What can I do to help you?
All right. So, my 7-year-old daughter, her I-130 and I-485 is processing. My husband had sponsored her. Her priority date was from last year, August. I think the ending of August. Mm-hmm. She did biometrics in October, and up to now, I'm not hearing anything from them.
You're going to wait at least a year. So if you filed in August, wait at least until August before you start working.
Okay, so is it a possibility for them not to do any interview and just send her card?
Yeah. If you got your green card and you've been interviewed, yeah, it's possible.
I'm sorry?
If you already got your green card and you were interviewed and proved to the sufficiency of the U.S. government that you were in a bona fide marriage with your spouse, it's possible she won't be interviewed. What do they need to interview a 7-year-old for?
Right, because currently I have my I-751 is in process, so I'm thinking maybe they're going to send them at the same time.
It's possible.
Okay.
All
right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good luck. All right. Orit in Lewiston, Minnesota. Orit.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I have 2 questions. I want to go with this one first. My daughter had filed for my son about 11 years ago now it was like 2011.
Okay.
And now we don't get back any answer. So I want to know, when you file in 2011,
it was
how
a
long
sister
would it
filing
take?
for a brother. They're right now. She got the I-130 approved, or she never got the I-130 approved?
I think she got a letter that they sent it I think he got something that they done with it here.
Presumably was approved and sent to the National Visa Center. They're processing right now cases in 2007. Your sister filed for brother 2011. She's at least 3-4 years away. The brother's at least 3-4 years away.
Oh, I told it. That's what I had. But I think they said it take like 11 years, and
you're gonna wait about another based on what you told me, you're gonna wait about another 3-4 years minimal.
Okay, so I'm a citizen. No, she filed for me too, but I'm here now and I'm a citizen. If I filed for my son, how long would it take?
5 or 6 years, but do it anyway because who knows? I'm taking guesses. So file, it doesn't hurt.
So maybe I should just do it then?
File anyway, it doesn't hurt. You have 2 cases going, whichever one comes in first.
Okay. Can I file for my sister?
Yes, but that's going to take 15 years.
Wow. Okay.
Do it.
Thank
It also
you.
doesn't hurt. Do it and file it. You never know. What I tell you today may be different tomorrow.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Lorraine in Orlando. Hi,
Hello.
Lorraine.
Hi. Okay, so I have a question.
Yes.
My grandson has been with me since December, and I would like to keep him here with me. I don't know where his dad is, and his mom is living in a volatile area where she's living.
How old's your grandson?
He's 14.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go into family court with a lawyer and get legal guardianship of this child. As part of the legal guardianship, you're going to prove the father disappeared. The biological father abandoned this child. We don't know where this father is. End of story. We don't even have to get into mother lives in volatile area. And then the family court judge will issue a ruling saying it is in his or her opinion that it's not in this child's best interest to be reunited with the biological father because nobody knows where the father is, and the father is a terrible father who abandoned this child to begin with. And then with that special ruling in the guardianship papers, you can now have this child sponsor him or herself as a self-petitioner to adjust his or her status to get a green card immediately. Guardianship and the special ruling only takes a couple of months. So within a few months, this child should be able to file an adjustment application and get a green card immediately. It is much faster than you going to adopt this child, and then you would have to have the adoption completed before the child's 16th birthday, then wait 2 years from the time of the adoption to file as the adopted mother. You're going to be waiting years and years and years to get this child through, even if you get the adoption done before the child's 16, which you may or may not. Do the special immigrant juvenile route. It is substantially faster, easier, and cheaper.
What's that, the special immigrant?
Juvenile. We have lawyers in Florida who can do it for you as well, so we can handle everything. Hold on. Let's go to MacArthur in Orlando, Florida.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How about you, Brad?
Good. What can I do to help you?
Okay. My story is I came in the United States from the Mexican border in 2014.
Right.
So I was applied for asylum. And after the asylum, I got denied from 2016. And now I'm married with my wife, and we have 2 kids. So I filed for an adjustment of status, and my priority date is April 10 last year. I already got a work permit. And then I got my I-130 approved like 15 days ago.
Great.
So after I got my I-130 approved, I called my paralegal because my lawyer has a paralegal, so I'm dealing with her. So I called her to let her know like if she got like the approval letter from the I-130. And she says like they hasn't checked yet. But my question is, Brad, after the I-130 approved, can we file from the judge to reopen the case?
Yes.
And why she said no? She said like, cause I asked her like, can we file from the judge?
How did you come to the United States?
From the Mexican border.
Okay. And were you stopped at the border?
Yeah, they stopped me at the border.
Were you? Are you? Do you know you were paroled into the United States?
Yes,
And then you were ordered removed by the judge.
Yeah, and after
you need to make a joint motion to reopen your case, and then adjust your status. So I'm not sure what your paralegal is saying, but that's what you need to do. You have one opportunity to make a motion to reopen, so do it right. Maybe you're not with the right law firm. Maybe you are. I have no idea. Hold on. Let's go to Amanda in Albany. Hi, Amanda.
So, Brad, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I have a question for you.
Yes.
I'm a licensed permanent resident. I filed for my husband in April 2020.
Yes.
He's in Jamaica. It's going on almost 2 years, and I didn't get a decision on the case yet. I'm thinking about filing a mandamus. Do you think it's too soon?
No.
No?
No. 2 years?
Okay.
Yes. I think you should do it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Sharon in Dallas.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you? I have quick question in regard to my status. I came in 99.
Yes.
And on a visitor's visa. Got married in 2008, but never got to go through with our filing with my husband.
Right.
Because he was now using substance abuse.
Okay.
Something like that. So we are married, but nothing has happened.
Still married?
Yes.
Okay.
But he's nowhere to be found because he's just his life is just.
All right. Was he physically abusive to you?
Basically, he was mostly emotional.
Emotional abuse.
Yeah.
I think what you should be doing is filing a VAWA case and trying to develop an extreme emotional abuse case. If he was on drugs and he was emotionally abusive to you, and it was a real marriage for a period of time, which it sounds like it was, then I would try to develop that. You'd file your adjustment. You'd get a work permit, a travel document. You would have to prove extreme emotional abuse, which is not that you had a fight every so often, not that he yelled at you every so often. That's just people getting angry with each other or having a fight. And maybe at that moment it may be emotionally abusive, but it's not extreme in the sense that it didn't happen on a regular, consistent daily basis. Extreme emotional abuse is this happened day after day after day, week after week after week, month after month after month. It was extreme. If you're able to prove that, then you get approved for your green card.
Well, basically,
so hold on one second. Hold on 1 second. We can talk off here. Let's go to Kenny in Houston.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Okay, so I applied for VAWA back in 2019, and this year, a few weeks ago, my daughter, which I named as a derivative in the form, was given a green card. However, I've not received mine. How is this possible?
I don't know. Maybe they lost yours in the mail.
Sorry, maybe they did what?
Maybe yours got lost in the mail.
Right, now that's
who sponsored you?
Well, I applied for VAWA as a self-petitioner.
Okay, so if your daughter has a green card and you don't, then for sure you're approved and you're a lawful resident. You just don't have proof of it.
So what can I do to get this?
I would first contact USCIS to see if they mailed out your green card. It may be sometimes it got mailed out and returned and they're waiting for a better address, and you just update your address and they mail it to you. Sometimes they'll say they mailed it out to you, it was never returned, then you would do an I-90 for replacement.
Okay, but every time I contact them, they're like, they can't talk to me because it's a VAWA case.
All right,
so
then hire me. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to Soliman.
Hello, Brad. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing all right, thanks. Look, I'm a green card holder. I got my girlfriend here with F1 visa. I wait 90 days. I got married, and 1 week ago, I just filed I-130.
No, file an I-130 and an adjustment before she falls out of status.
Yeah, can I adjust her status with a green card holder?
As long as you do it before she falls out of status, yes.
All right, thank you
Do
very
that
much,
quickly
sir.
before she falls out of status, or you're going to get screwed, or she'll get screwed.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Which one?
Hold on. What you need to do is hold on before you screw everything up. Hold on. All right. And by the way, if you didn't get your immigration questions asked and answered, you can always follow me on Brad Show Live. Follow me on Brad Show Live. Of course, you can follow Brad Show Live for the best 2-3 minutes. Nope. Now you're going to follow. Sorry, Ian. We're going to start again. You can follow me on Real Brad. You can follow Jeremy. You can follow me at Real Brad Bernstein. If you follow me at Real Brad Bernstein, you get a chance to ask your immigration question. You can always drop me a DM, and I'll be happy to answer your question as best as I can at Real Brad Bernstein on Instagram. You can also follow us at Brad Show Live. You can't handle 2 hours of us, but you can handle 30 seconds of us. The place to follow us on Instagram at Brad Show Live. And of course, you can also follow us on TikTok at Brad Show Live. Leave your questions in the comment section. You may be lucky enough for me to answer it, personalized to you for the whole world to hear.
And you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And later in the show, in honor of Carnaval, we will meet with costume designer Kenneth Antoine, who was born and raised on the island of Trinidad and Tobago before immigrating to the United States of America.
And now it's time for What's Your Immigration Story, where we take a look at some of the many different personal immigration stories people have shared with us.
My grandparents came from Russia, and my wife's parents came from Italy. They immigrated back in 1910, and they became citizens, and life started from there. I'm third generation immigrant.
Nice.
As we all are.
My immigration story was blind love. I met my husband online. Yeah, they say love at first sight. I say love at first email. It's been 12 years, happily married, 2 kids.
We came in 2006. We came as a whole family, and I was 14 when I came here, and we were chasing the American dream for a better future.
I came here 8 years ago because I'm married with my husband. And my cousin Nigel, he came here because study here, and then he decided to live here.
My family, they're actually of Ecuadorian descent. I'm the first member of my family to be born here in America. Well, basically it all starts with my grandpa. He was the one who initiated the start to move to the United States. Him and my grandmother had 12 kids. They brought them here to the States. The economic standpoint at that time wasn't a good one. They struggled to get to where they are today, but thanks to God and everything, like everything went well, and I was able to be born here along with my other cousin who was also born in America. So it's honestly been a great journey, thanks to him, thanks to my grandpa.
All right, social media check-in.
Yeah.
What do we got?
All right, Will on YouTube. It's been 105 days since I had my citizenship interview, but the decision hasn't been made yet. I did pass the test, but the interviewer kept on asking his coworker questions. What can I do?
For your citizenship, they have 120 days to make a decision. So at 105, there's nothing you can do. At 120, you can still wait for a decision, or you can go into federal court with a de novo review and ask a federal judge to make the final decision.
Sharon K's on Facebook. What's happening for pending asylum cases?
If you filed recently, you should have an interview. If you filed years ago, you get an interview sometime at the end of the world.
Yeah, Karen Clark Jones on Facebook. I paid for my daughter's green card 2 months ago and still haven't received anything. Is there a number I can call or email?
Yeah, you call the 1-800 number at the uscis.gov. And by the way, with the asylum case that I said before, I was making a joke, but the answer is for people who have pending asylum cases for years, if it's a good case, you're going to want to file a mandamus.
Josephine Latham on Facebook. If you have an American passport and are a naturalized citizen and the passport has your married surname, but you're now divorced and changed back to your maiden name, can you send in your divorce decree and apply for a new passport with your maiden name?
Absolutely.
Okay, Yoshi on YouTube. If I have an I-130 petition in process, green card holder filing for an unmarried child over 21, will I be able to renew my non-immigrant visa successfully without any drawbacks from USCIS?
What is the non-immigrant visa? Most likely non-immigrant visa is non-immigrant intent. You have a case for a green card, I think you're going to have a problem.
Don Harriet on Facebook. If you go to the airport and say you're coming to get married on a visitor's visa, will you be turned away at the airport?
Most of the time, yes.
Jennifer Paginson on YouTube. I'm going to file an I-130 this year. I received a removal notice in 2019, but when I checked recently, it was closed due to non-prosecution. What should I do?
Does she have a green card?
I'm going to file the I-130 this year.
You need a lawyer to confirm everything you're just saying.
Yvonne Stewart on YouTube. If I visit my daughter in the U.S. and start filing while I'm here, can I go back to Jamaica until it comes through?
Say it again?
If I visit my daughter in the U.S. and start filing while I'm there, can I go back to Jamaica until it comes through?
Say that one last time.
Yeah, so if I visit my daughter in the U.S. and start my filing while I'm there, so I guess here in the U.S.,
yes,
can I go back to Jamaica?
Back. Yeah, okay, I understand now.
Okay. Navdeep on YouTube. I have a VAWA-approved individual hearing in May 2022 for an I-485. What should I prepare for a judge interview?
I don't know all the facts of your case, so I need to know a lot more.
Janice Olivier on YouTube. I got my green card last year. Can I bring my son to America and file for his green card?
How did you get your green card?
Paola Rabasa on Facebook. Stayed in New York for 4 months. I didn't work and I overstayed my B1, B2 visa. I've been working remotely since the beginning of the pandemic, so I was able to provide for myself while there. What problems could I face next time I travel there, and which documents can I bring to prove my point?
Well, you can't prove your point because you overstayed your time by 4 months. So once you overstay your time, you violate your visa status, whether you worked remotely or you feel you worked undocumented or not. You overstayed. Your visa is no good.
All right. Victory Smith on YouTube. What about immigration court? I did not attend my interview. Now I have to go to immigration court. What should I do?
You better get a lawyer because immigration court's for deportation.
Okay.
I have no idea what interview he's referring to.
Yeah. Okay. Rosie Rose on YouTube. Can a U.S. citizen adopt his late brother's daughter who is in the U.S. studying? She's 16 now, although her mom is alive and in Nigeria and supports this.
It's too late to adopt because the child's over 16. But if you've been listening to our show, we've been talking about special immigrant juvenile. You can definitely do that and get her a green card.
Okay. Tahir Saifi. I came to the U.S. on a B2 visa in September 2014. Over there, I met a girl, and we decided to get married. I applied for an extension in March 2015 and received the response from USCIS till September 2015. I got married in December 2015 and she filed for my adjustment of status based on marriage. Things got bad between us after 4 months of our marriage. And then I came to know she was dating another guy and everything was ruined. I was in good faith of marriage. And that is all I see. So I don't know what Tahir is
It sounds like you need a lawyer.
Yeah. All right. That's it.
That's it. All right. So today, Mardi Gras and Carnival celebrations are being held in New Orleans and all over the world right now in countries including, but not all, like Brazil, Belize, Martinique, and Trinidad and Tobago. The festivals usually happen just before Lent in February or March because traditionally many people go on a fast during Lent, giving up meat, sugar, other foods, and drink. Mardi Gras and Carnival are opportunities to enjoy these treats for the last time. This year, Lent begins on Wednesday, March 2nd and ends on Thursday, April 14th. In honor of the celebrations, we spoke to Carnivale Costume Designer Kenneth Antoine Montgomery, who was born and raised on the island of Trinidad and Tobago and immigrated to the United States at the age of 19. Let's watch.
I'm from the island of Trinidad and Tobago, the mecca of the carnival and design work. And growing up, I remember my mother was one of the main seamstresses that used to sew and make the dragon costumes for the big dragon bands in Trinidad. I had liked the art, and I used to follow and help her out. And then they were given what you call 5 years visas, 10-year visas. You could have come to the United States. Those who was interested in working, schooling, some of us came. I was one of the guys that came here with that. Pretty young guy, was like 19, 20, about that age, my first visit. Everybody's dream was due to their parents to be a doctor, a lawyer. That's all they ever speak about. So I got involved and I got a chance to work at Mount Sinai Hospital while I was doing LPN, licensed practical nursing. But I came and I had a little experience that was very rough. A young female in my building was giving birth. She was having a baby. They couldn't hold the baby, so I delivered the baby in the hallway. And unfortunately, after that experience, I did not want to see nothing red. For months, moving around, running to a friend and tell me, but you into art. You love drawing and painting and designing. He said, do you know that Parsons, the #1 school here in art, fashion, design, have scholarships open? I got my associate and I got my bachelor's. I'm an artist, designer right here in New York. In my field, the carnival field, the wire is known or is considered the bones. And coming here, and I got an opportunity to further it, to better it, and now to be able to teach it and show it. If you want to use feathers and you want to use backpacks, it must have a bone. It must have a structure. This is where my mass camp and production area takes place. I run classes, but when you come to my class, I give you the straightforward way of wire bending. These are the basic things for wire bending, and that is what makes the beauty of these costumes. Everybody talks about the United States. Everybody wants to migrate to this vast, beautiful land of opportunities. So I made my trip also. And in coming here, I saw things that I have never seen before, and I learned about things that I never knew about either. Nowadays, I understand it is very hard to come by a visa. So then those like myself, I could consider ourselves pretty lucky. The Olympics that took place in Atlanta, I think was 98 or something like that. I did the closing and the opening centerpiece for that ceremony. So my American dream, I did it.
All right, so
okay, well, before we get into speed round,
yes, what?
We are going to reread Paola's question because there was a mistake.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm sure the answer will be different.
Okay.
So
what is the question?
Yeah, Paola stayed in New York for 4 months, didn't work there or overstay. So Paola did not overstay the B1, B2 visa. She has been working remotely since the beginning of the pandemic, so she was able to provide for herself while there. What problems could she face if she travels there, and which documents can she bring to prove her point?
There is no point. She didn't work undocumented in the United States. She worked whatever country she's from. If she's from Brazil or whatever country she's from, I don't know why I said Brazil because she said Paulo, but it could be any country. But if she's in any country, she's working remotely, she's not working in the United States, she is remoting into work in another country. So she's not working undocumented in the United States. She's not getting paid in the United States. She's not taking a job away from an American worker. She didn't overstay her visitor's visa. There is no point to prove. You came for 4 months and you left. End of story.
All right. Well, that was it.
How's that?
That was great.
Okay. All right. Ready for speed round?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. We're going to do 10 questions. 10 One of the things that we need for speed round
are
is
the
for
questions.
Someone to send Jonathan the questions.
Please.
For speed round.
Yes, yes.
Do we have it now?
Let's see.
Do we have it now?
Okay, we got it.
Okay. All right, we're doing 10 questions.
We're doing 10.
In 50 seconds.
Yes.
So by the way, if anybody thinks that the speed round is a setup there you have it. They just shared
Right.
the questions with Jonathan. Not only do I not know the questions,
That's
Jonathan doesn't even know the questions.
That's proof, y'all.
All
That's
right,
proof.
you ready? Tell
Remember,
us what.
10 questions.
Right, because before I thought it was 9. I was
Yes.
slowing down. That's why I
Yeah.
said we got to decide if it's 10 or 9.
Because the people challenged us.
Yes.
The squad was like, I
Do
think you guys
10.
could do 10.
All right, you ready?
I'm waiting for my countdown.
All right.
How long is the wait for an approved I-485?
At least a year.
As a U.S. citizen, can I bring my sister who is above 21 years old?
You have to file an I-130. It takes a long time.
Can a person who came to the U.S. on asylum get married and get a green card?
Yes.
How long does it take H1b to take to process?
On a premium processing, 2 weeks. Non-premium processing, 3 months.
How can a Canadian business owner move to the U.S.?
L1, E1, lots of different ways.
If my 485 is approved while on a short trip abroad, can I still come back with my H1B?
You need to go to the U.S. Embassy and get a stamp.
Can I file a K1 visa for my fiance in Russia, or should I wait?
File it.
Can I get married to a U.S. citizen on ESTA and adjust my status?
If you wait over 90 days from your entry.
Can a green card holder file for their stepson who's on B1, B2?
Yes.
Can a U.S. company request a green card for me after 6 months of working for them?
I don't know what we're doing. Woo! Back to fire!
Oh my God!
Did we really do it?
I don't know.
That was like a horse race.
I feel like you said yes before.
That was like a horse race where they have to go to a photo finish.
Yeah, I know, right? To see if the nose touched the finish line. You guys let us know, squad. Let us know. Did we do it?
Close.
It was very close.
Dawn Harriet says boom.
Oh.
Thanks, Dawn. But Carol Anderson gives us the balloons, dainty brown, boom.
Oh, dang.
Damn,
I feel like we kind of got it, y'all.
It's Appleby says on the mark.
On the mark.
All right. I don't know what that means.
I think it's like right.
But it's either we did it or we didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. That got my heart.
Ian
says we got it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go back later and watch and we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Comments of the day. Comments of the day.
All right. Our first comment of the day comes from Danny Boy 954 saying, I'm the first one in class today, like you said.
All right, Danny Boy.
That's pretty dope.
Yes.
That's pretty dope. All right, second comment of the day. Dion Reed saying, squad up my beautiful daughters. It's Teas Day. Shout out, what's in your cups today? Mine is garlic, ginger, honey with a little lime juice.
Ooh.
That sounds, Dion Reed.
All right.
That sounds like a remedy right there.
I like that.
That's what I drink when I'm sick.
Yes.
Garlic, lemon,
but maybe that also prevents you from
honey.
getting sick.
I hear it does.
Yes.
Okay, we like that.
Yes.
All right, third comment of the day. Marion Tikak saying, Mr. Brad has knowledge like an immigration encyclopedia.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. And lastly.
And our last one comes from Glenda Walren saying, my case was approved yesterday. Thank you for all your help. After 35 years, I can finally see and hug my mother. Thank you again. May God continue to bless your work and all you do.
What perseverance.
Wow.
What perseverance. Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
That's really nice. And thank you for watching. And hopefully we helped a little bit along the way. And even if we didn't, either way, that's perseverance. Yeah. It's all on you. Congratulations.
Yes.
All right. Tomorrow is Hump Day. All right, we'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein Law Firm, located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And visit us now at our Connecticut office, 221 Main Street, Suite 501, Hartford, Connecticut. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?